E aí, gurizada, Kawasaki na Zanga Motos, porque cava é vida.
Savachi in this particular stadium, he didn't end well last year when he was here in 2019.
Right.
So real excited that he's had pace all day.
Here's a look at Rick Ware's racing organization. He's got Ryan Brees, Joey Savachi, Shane McElrath, and Henry Miller. Those two will be battling it out in the SX2 category.
You know, one thing I think that about these heat races and the Superpole is all three main events, you have to be on the one gate, you know, so it's really important.
So Ken Roxon wins here in the heat races, and when he's not riding his dirt bike, Ken loves to go surfing when he's back in the States, especially in Southern California, and he had a chance to check out urban surf here in Melbourne with some of his buddies.
Hey guys, so we're here at Urban Surf in Melbourne, Australia, only 5 minutes from the Melbourne International Airport. What better way to celebrate being in Australia than going surfing? Surf's up, guys, let's go.
Things get fried quick in the water.
We're here at Urban Surf today. We got the boys from the WSX here. I think they're going to have a good time, and I think some might be their first time, and then like Kenny's done a bunch of surfing, so he's going to have a ball as well.
This year I haven't been surfing as much as I would have liked to, unfortunately, but been to a wave pool before, different one, but I'm excited to get out there and ready to learn and have some fun.
Had a few surfs with Kenny before over in California. He's a bit of a surf frother fanatic.
We kind of, I guess, share each other's passion, right? Like he loves dirt bikes, I love surfing. Of course I love dirt bikes too and stuff, but it's just kind of cool how we can share it like that. Slap the left, hit the lip, drop down. Now we're ready.
How many waves is there in a set? 5? 13?
For me, it's just purely about relaxing. Like I love water in general. I love the ocean. And then a few years ago, I just kind of got a passion for surfing and just couldn't stop. I've been loving it. Obviously, we've had round 1 in Cardiff, which was amazing. And just being able to travel to different countries and continents makes it that much more fun. Place is so rad. I like the different cultures and connecting with fans that are, you know, outside of only being in the US, and I feel like that's been what I've kind of been missing. Being able to do this and travel from country to country is something that in the Supercross world, I guess, is kind of new, and I can't wait to see where this is going. It would mean a lot to win the first World Supercross FIM Championship. Obviously, the competition is really stiff, so we got to keep on our toes and stay mistake-free, and then hopefully we can make it happen this Saturday.
Well, we are having a great night here inside the famed Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia. Boy, they love their sports down here, and the freestyle motocross guys are putting on quite a show inside Marvel right now. Well, you can see some of the fans on hand having a great time. They love their sports around here, don't they, Chad Reed?
Absolutely. I can honestly tell you the month of October is always the motorsport month.
Yeah, and this is basically the springtime down here. MotoGP was just here. You're getting ready to go off to a V8 supercar race next weekend. So as you said, racing all over the place around here right now.
Absolutely. I remember as a kid just how awesome and that rapid back-to-back weekend is. And so, yeah, I'm still, 40 years old and still love being a part of it.
And it's perfect that World Supercross would be here for the Australian GP at this time of year.
Absolutely. Like I said, last week I got to do MotoGP. Next week I get to do Supercars, get to do my love Supercross. So,
and we're looking forward to doing this season finale here for years to come, right? It'd be fantastic. Well, we had an opportunity to talk to some of Chad's teammates about what it's like being a teammate with this seasoned veteran who's a multi-time world champion.
The greatest Australian Supercross rider of all time, Chad Reed.
Chad Reed is such a legend for so many reasons.
I mean, Chad, he is a legend. Chad's been in the game for so long. The guy that came from overseas and stuck it in with all the American guys.
My senior year of high school, I really looked up to him for his style.
I was a big fan growing up. I met Chad for the first time when I was like 12 years old. He was helping me out back then, and now I'm 33 and I'm still learning from the guy.
We all looked up to Chad when we were little. One of the all-time greats, period.
To be able to call him a friend is something that I think is really, really cool.
Chad Reed is a bloody legend, mate.
Chad Reed is a bloody legend.
Chad Reed is a legend, mate.
Chad Reed is a bloody legend.
Chad, how does it make you feel to have those guys say you're a legend? When you were introduced to this crowd, they went crazy around here.
No, I mean, the support of your peers is bigger than anything. It's like you can you earn that. And I feel honored. I don't have a whole lot of words other than just being really, really honored.
I think we might have to undo that hat and open it up one click after that little feature we had right there. Very complimentary. I had the opportunity to call a lot of races with you back in America, and there was this one race that in particular you were riding the Kawasaki. It was just my all-time favorite moment. I mean, we were just banging on the tables. Bass James Stewart for the win at Anaheim. It was just, great memories for me too, even as a broadcaster.
Watching that over and over because it was a good one. You don't want to turn it off. I can remember you two calling that one. It was at Anaheim 1 or 2. Actually, it was at Anaheim 2 or 3. Actually, I won both of those.
Yeah.
And I won them in such different ways. And I can honestly say that those are my favorites too.
Well, I can tell you it's been an honor to call your races. I don't like calling them when you've had crashes. Unfortunately, we had to do that in Cardiff.
We did that, and not ideal, but with life, you get bumped down, and it's how you move from there. Your next moves, you got to get back on the horse at some point and figure it all back out. So put that behind me.
You and your wife Ellie have 3 beautiful children who are getting interested in racing dirt bikes or other forms of motorsports. With your daughter, for example. How do you use moments like that to inspire them to fight through the adversities that are going to come, not just in sport, but in life in general?
I think in life in general, I think that there's such a small number of people that make it in racing. And for me, all you can do is lead. It hurts. It sucks. You're mad. You're angry. You're all these things, all these different emotions. And I think that they, as your children, hear that because I think sometimes you can't, hide it. And they just need to know that it goes away and life is going to be okay,
Hey, is it true that your daughter is the most competitive person in the entire family, especially when it comes to dirt bikes?
To say the most, it's a big one. But, she is very competitive, hates to lose. And I think if that's what she chooses to do in motorsport, she can do it.
But number 2 might be your wife, Ellie, right?
Number 1, I'm sorry.
She's got the crown there.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's interesting to me, too, is how far you will push yourself to get where you want to be, even just in getting your treatment. You got hurt in Wales, but you made it all the way back home to Australia before you got the treatment you wanted.
I think that when you make a plan, you stick to it. And the plan drastically changed in a second. And at that point, you kind of think, do I go back to the U.S.? Do I go home? Do I do all this? But I was so excited, not even just me personally. I was so excited to come and see family and my mom and dad I hadn't seen in 3 years. And so I think it was important as the one injured to lead the family, get on those planes, get to Australia, hand off the kids to the in-laws, go get surgery, get fixed up, and here we are. Life goes on. You can stay down, you can be bummed, but you got to get back on your feet.
Incredible inspiration for sure. To think injured like that, feeling the pain like that, so many of us would be looking for instant relief, but instead Chad pushed himself even further just to get back to family before the relief. Well, let's go down trackside. Here's Kristen Beat.
Yeah, Kyle Chisholm finishing second in his heat in the SX2 class. Kyle, I mean, with the way the racing has been shaping up tonight, it is going to be so hard to execute passes as a rider. How do you strategize for that?
It's tough. There's a lot of fast guys. We're all really close, but you're going to have to make a little contact, maybe get a little aggressive, and just set it up. Be thinking ahead of time where you're going to make that pass and then try to make it happen.
Kyle, looking back at Cardiff, I mean, just unlucky, but to know that your team is able and has the amenities to be able to change a rear wheel for you, get you back out on track. What did you learn from Cardiff?
It's tough. We have a lot of races right back to back. It's really quick, but thankfully the CDR Monster Energy Yamaha team, great team. Could have done a better job getting me back out there. And yeah, it's tough with this type of racing, and you got to make stuff like that happen.
Well, we're looking forward to watching you in that SX2 GP Race 1. I'm actually going to head over this way because Vince Freezy is right down here. Vince, I usually like to tell you guys I'm coming over, but we are live. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that heat. Generally, with the racing being so tight, it will be hard to execute those passes. And I was just talking to Kyle Chisholm about that. Were you surprised at all? Any love lost between you and Joey Savacci?
Yeah, no, I just made a little mistake in the section before the whoops and didn't get the best drive into him. And I think he said he kind of got into a tough block and couldn't really get stopped as good as he wanted to. So, yeah, we came together, and we were lucky they're not tough blocks like we have back in America. And we made it through them safe. I think they got a safer setup going on over here and saved us both a big crash right there.
You're a part of this title hunt. Obviously, the big matchup tonight, you and Ken Roxon. What are you telling yourself as you enter these finals in Superpole coming up next?
Yeah, I mean, just keep doing the same thing. Get good starts. I had the whole shot there. One little mistake, and Joey got by. So good starts and no mistakes, and I think I'll be in a good spot.
And Vince Freeze is an expert at getting a start, guys.
It's I'm glad to see that he and Savacci didn't have any ill feelings over that. Just hard race.
No. I mean that's just part of it. You know, you racing these dirt bikes, and you get a wheel in on somebody. You know, you got to make the pass, right?
Yep.
A lot different than you go in and T-bone somebody and take them out, put them in the cheap seats.
Well, these guys are all getting ready now for Superpole, Jeff. Something they got to do for the first time in Cardiff, and I think everybody loved it. These guys, when they will be doing one lap at a time with the Superpole and talking to the riders about that concept, boy, they just loved it. Some of the freestyle FMX going on here inside Melbourne. Jeff, we've got some superstars of FMX taking place in it too, including Bilko.
Yeah, there he is right there. He is a madman, I'm telling you. He is the master of that sort of 360 flip right there.
Cam Sinclair, Chucky Norris, and Jake Smith all thrilling the crowd here tonight.
I mean, I've done that before, but just not on purpose.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
But you can see it on YouTube.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Me also.
Hey, one thing about Chad, when you're traveling from the UK down to here with your injuries last week, how was it on the flight when it starts to swell?
So I went London into South Africa, and when I got to South Africa, I was ready to tap out.
Your hand had to be so big, right?
Absolutely.
So who's first up here then?
Well, how about this, ladies and gentlemen? You know, with the World Supercross Championship, we like to push all boundaries and bring you all sorts of new technology to bring Supercross to the global stage like it's never been done before. So tonight we unveil our chase drone. Jeff, look at this as we follow Bourdon on his lap.
Looks like they have gone out. The track crews fixed some of those areas. And I think that split section, Chad, is probably going to be better and quicker once some ruts get dug in. But for Bourdon, he's got to ride it fresh.
I agree with you. I think the berm part of it is going to be much better, but the flat part where the rut is going to be difficult to turn.
Chad, what do you think of this camera view?
It's crazy. I mean, we're starting to get a little smoother. It seemed like we started off a little rough.
Bourdon rider out of France right now. And the crazy thing about the Superpole is you're the only rider on the track, and it's actually pretty quiet, and you're not used to only hearing your bike.
This is something new to Supercross, and I love that World Supercross is bringing this in, because in racing, practice, and when you go out there in front of all these people and you have to lay it down, it's really cool.
Well, the 24-year-old rider from France completes his run. It's a 48.320. He was the 2020 French Elite MX2 motocross champion, finished 14th at Cardiff. And now we're looking at the 911 up next. This is Jordi Tixier, another French rider.
Here he goes, green flag, up and over the finish line. It's going to be interesting. So he's going a different line. But see right here how flat this is. There's no rut there yet.
And I take back what I said. That outside was not new.
Yeah. See if he drops the quad. No quad on off right there. Probably a couple tenths of a second if you jump the quad out of that turn. So he's going to have to make up some speed here. Make up some time, I should say.
Now you can see our arrows on the left side of the screen over here. If the arrow is red, that means you're not quicker than anybody else. If it's green, it's a personal best in that section. If it's purple, it's overall best.
Got it.
3 sections make up the racetrack here. Tixier, 12th at Cardiff, 2014 FIM MX2 world champion. He's raced in the Motocross Grand Prix Championship since 2011. He runs a 48.056, so he goes to the top of the board. Kate Clayson rolls out.
0.3 of a second quicker than Bourdon. Clayson, this Club MX team.
Here comes our chase drone again.
All right, so he goes left side.
Which is essentially inside then outside rather than outside inside.
It's interesting, those 4 jumps out of the first turn, when you go left through the split lane, you're not straight enough to jump those 4 jumps all in one leap.
Anyone that just seen his hand come off that's new to Supercross, that is him adjusting the clutch. So he's being hard on the clutch because he's already having to adjust it.
And what will that do for him, Chad? What's he looking for feel-wise?
My opinion is that the track is quite slippery, and so he's having to, govern the RPMs and the horsepower with the clutch.
And there he completes his lap, and he gets a 47.356. So the first rider into the 47s. Cade goes to number 1, celebrates over the finish line jump.
Yeah, the nice look down that pin right replay. But so each rider's gone out and been 0.3 of a second quicker.
See if we can keep that going.
Yeah, keep it going. I mean, 10 riders, that'd be quite a bit.
Essentially, we're starting with the slowest guys, or I hate that, but the back to the front, right?
Fifth in the heat races and work your way through the winners, yep.
And we begin now with Josh Hill.
He's a jumper. Look at that, Chad. He's outside.
I did all my training with Josh in the off-season getting ready for this series, and not surprised to see him do that big jump.
Watch, he'll jump this.
Absolutely. There we go.
I mean, he's revving that Yamaha big time, right?
He is. Revving that thing up and launching, going for it. Oh, hear that? That was a metal to metal.
Josh likes spending a lot more time in the air than on the ground, that is for sure. And that has hurt him in his career as he, a few years back, attempted a backflip, and it cost him dearly in his career for a while.
It'll cost him a little bit there, too, on time.
Here he comes to the finish line jump. And he gets into the 47s, but he does not batter the time of Cade Clayson. He gets 47.536, so he's number 2 right now.
I felt like it was going to be quicker. Maybe I got caught up in the RPM.
Yeah, but I think that exiting the second to last turn, he definitely made a little mistake there.
What about that triple after the finish? You think that's...
I think it looks great, but I don't think it's the fast way. I think it adds too much track.
Cedric Subaros.
Now listen to how quiet his bike is in spots. Oh, not right there. Here, he's going to jump this quad, yep. C bounces that, carries a lot of momentum over it.
And we chase him with the drone through the rhythm lane.
Oh, I like that. Triple into the turn.
A little wide, though. I like the double triple before the whoops because then you just, I mean, it's on. You get your shift up. Shift the
third and send it in.
Oh, man.
Cedric, a 33-year-old Frenchman, was 7th in Cardiff.
I believe that this one will be the fastest. Yeah.
Well, here he comes.
quick.
Finish line jump. You're right, Chad. 47.319. Cedric takes the 85 Kawasaki right to the top of the board.
Very close.
9mm.
There's our
Kawasaki
chase drone right
racing.
there. You ever fly one of those?
I have not, but I actually was checking it out earlier when I was down wasting some time.
Kids don't have one that they terrorize
A lot of
around the house.
carbon
You can see them flying down the hallways, right?
Yep.
And this is Justin Brayton.
And Justin's probably one of the few riders in this group that has regularly done this before with his AUSICS Open experience.
4-time winner of the Australian Supercross Championship is Justin Brayton. And won the opening round of the 2022 championship just a night ago, right in this very stadium.
He looks pretty smooth. He's always been very technically sound, especially through the whoops.
Whoa! Oh boy, a little slip there. That'll cost him.
He's going to go outside before the finish, try to carry a lot of speed over the Dragon's back.
And he goes to number 1, 46.562 for the former Daytona Supercross winner.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah, great shot. He was 0.8 of a second quicker than Supercross, who was the previous fast time.
And if he hadn't slipped in that one corner there so dramatically, at 46.5 might have been a 46.1.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't take much.
No. Well done, Justin Brayton.
And the Moto Concepts
Honda. He's already
looking at the board.
Yeah.
And Justin's going to be staying down under here. He's going to be
that was such a great shot.
Completing the Australian Championship this year before he goes back to the States.
He's going to be getting his air miles in.
Yeah.
His teammate.
Well, this is the guy who's right in the thick of the championship chase. Number 19 of Vince Freezy.
Well, and remember, the Superpole is worth a championship point.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, even though it's 1 point, it,
Hey, 1 point counts always.
Yeah, right? Breaks the tie or puts you into the lead, right?
Yep.
So see now, he didn't triple into that turn. Over that 90, he stayed inside. He did a little single.
And that 1 point makes a big difference, Jeff, because coming into the night, Prince was just 3 points behind Kenny Roxon. He's already closed it to 2, and there's the checkers. Not going to get it. 46.665 for Freezy. He's number 2.
So what I want our viewers to take a look at here as we go back behind Freezy here is we still have 3 more riders to go. One of the sections of the track that I think you can make up probably, quarter of a second, maybe even a half a second. And Chad, you can disagree if you want, but that Dragon's back before the finish line, Roxon was like coming out the turn outside and like wheeling through it.
I agree 100% with
right.
I've seen I actually watched Brayton do it last night in the Australian race, and definitely some speed there.
Well, Wilson was your second fastest rider in the heat races with a 46.4. If he can duplicate that, he will have the fastest time so far in this Superpole. Track's a little bit, that's a mistake.
Quad. First gear.
First gear?
First gear. Crazy.
My day, you would have barely got onto the tabletop with first gear.
100%. My early days, too.
There you go. Look at shifting up, carrying a lot of speed, really clean through there.
you can see it's slippery. Like they start getting on it and they're fighting rear traction.
So you say they're struggling for traction, yet you said he clears.
Okay, watch this. Watch this.
Oh, Dean!
He needs to finish the lap. He needs to go.
He does. And he will, but it won't be what he's going to want at all.
So we'll never know. We'll never know.
I'm going to blame you, Jeff. You put that on him.
Oh, did I? I jinxed him.
That is the comment. You said, watch this, and we're watching, and that's what happened.
That's my job, is to point out for our viewers.
You're that good.
Yeah, exactly. I got the crystal ball. It's clear tonight. It's working for me.
But I think it just goes to show that how difficult it is. You know, when you're on that limit, it's the little things that matter, and here we are. He just made a big mistake.
What do you think it's like? Like, you've done Superpoles before like this, right?
Yes, I actually did it here. I kind of learned it here in Australia, actually.
And so you're just out there just by yourself, right?
I love it.
Tens of thousands.
It's my favorite. Like, I don't love qualifying in practice because I just think that, like, practice is practice, and you get out there, get the bike set up, get comfortable. This is where we, in front of all the people, it's for 1 point. I think that this is how Superpole should be, qualifying should be.
This could be the guy that stands atop when we're all done, Joey Savacci. When it's come to the practice sessions today, putting up the quickest time, he's been the guy all weekend.
Yeah.
Barring mistake, it'll be out of these two.
But also Savacci doesn't really, it's not necessarily in the title chase, you know what I mean? So
he's loose.
Yeah, so he can just focus on Superpole and winning the Australian Grand Prix.
And let the cards fall where they fall.
Yeah, let the cards fall where they fall. Roxon, everybody else worrying about winning the world title.
Well, Joey is completing Sector 1. Not any. No, Joey! Well, that's not going to help him at all.
I think something to be said. This track is not as easy and as straightforward as you think. Or even just right there, he's losing the rear. I like it. They're having to really fight for this. This is, we kind of went, these are the two guys, and he's already made a mistake. He's going to probably put him around third.
Yep, that's where he's going to be with a 47.195.
Uh-oh. And for 5 easy jumps out of a right-hand turn, that's that same section where Wilson got loose. We showed that highlight earlier in the show, the crash in practice, and now Savacci goes through there. It looks like there's a lot of traction, but the riders are no. They said this dirt is really deceiving.
Yeah, I think it's catching him off guard. And I think for Kenny, is it going to be good or bad? He's getting information. He's understanding that it's difficult, but now does he get gun shy? Pull back too much?
We'll see. Well, and don't forget, if Kenny gets this, he gets that 1 point. That puts him 4 up on Freezy going into the GPs. Here we go. Ken Roxon, the points leader, already on the edge as he begins his lap. Looking to become a world champion here tonight if he can put it all together.
Well, look how good that turn was right there. The rut is dug in, definitely to his advantage. He set the fastest lap earlier tonight in qualifying with a 46.3. 46.3 right now would get it done in Superpole.
I'm calling a high 48.5.
Oh, yeah.
We're going with it.
Really smooth through that turn, not really... He's patient. Okay, here's the section I was talking about. See there, right there, boom.
And he goes right to number 1. 46.080 for Ken Roxon, who also had the Superpole at Cardiff, by the way.
Yeah, and you see how he executed that last turn. He just lifted the front wheel, wheelied through the Dragon's back, and carried so much speed over the finish line.
Well, this very important Superpole session sees Ken Roxon come in on his Honda Genuine machine, grab the top spot, and that 1 bonus point.
And that was what it was all about.
Yep. Trackside to Kristen.
Yeah, Ken Roxon putting it to the top of the boards. Ken, this track is deceiving. What allowed you to get such a clean lap in there?
A lot of focus on being patient. You got to be easy on the throttle. These tight little insides after the finish line are really tough because the ruts are very shallow, and it's very easy to make a mistake. You know, you have good traction in some areas, some are super slippery. I actually made a mistake rolling into the fast lap right before the dragon back right here, so I knew coming around I had to lean it over a little bit more, but I mean, I got an almost perfect lap. I cased that triple over here just a little bit, but it was enough, luckily.
Ken, congratulations. We are now going to present you with the Alive WSX Superpole winner. Check $500 to Ken Roxon, guys.
Well, that's great. An extra $500 for the trip home.
I know who's buying dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoy the Superpole concept. I think it's a great addition to Supercross.
Love it. Personally, a big fan. And like I said, I think that when you want to put it all on the line, there should be a point or something up for grabs.
Well, looking back here on the Superpole lap that Roxon had, he was incredibly smooth, and he just skims right across the top of the whoops with ease, making it look so easy.
The minimal amount of the wheel spin, just spectacular. Roxy kept that bike so much straighter than everybody else.
So precise on that right hand, on throttle hand, you know.
I think he knew right away. He felt that was a good night. You see him looking up at the board also?
Yeah.
He wasn't even off the jump yet, and he was already looking.
I've seen some camera angles, and that's one of the coolest ones I've seen.
Plenty of pyro lighting up the sky here inside of Marvel Stadium. Watching this side-by-side onboards here, Jeff.
Jordy Tixier on the left, Josh Hill on the right, same section. Hill just a tad bit ahead of him, it looks like. See where they hit this. It's a crazy onboard look right now. Now watch when they go across the whoops right here. It looks like Hill's got just a little bit on him. He got into the whoops just a split second ahead. Of course, Hill was a 47.5, half a second quicker than Tixier. And watch when they come across the finish, you're going to notice that.
Here's Savachi with the drone chasing him. A couple of mistakes cost him dearly here.
Really good shot, and you start to understand how fast these 450s accelerate when you see this thing, you know, trying to chase him down.
But Chad, with the 450s, how many areas on the track are you actually twisting the throttle to a wide open position?
I would say that there's a higher chance that there's more wide open in the air than they are on the ground, possibly never wide open on the ground.
Yeah, think about that, Ralph. You can never actually get full power to the ground. I mean, a half throttle, three-quarter throttle does the job. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's shocking just to hear you say how a first gear can clear such a massive obstacle out there.
It's unbelievable what modern day bikes are doing these days. It would be awesome to see the throttle trace from the data.
Yeah, I mean, I had a chance to ride Joey Savachi's 450 at Cardiff when I did that start demonstration. Super tacky, metal starting pad. I couldn't even keep the front wheel down, and I'm like, not even half throttle. I'm pulling the clutch in. I was laughing when I came back. I said, I can't believe how fast this thing is.
Coming from, in my opinion, one of the best starters in the world.
Yeah. Well, that was last century.
Yeah,
okay? A long time ago.
I'd still put money on you, Jeff.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that.
Look at that. That's cool. I don't know why he's running tariffs.
Yeah.
I'm a clear vision. Get rid of those things.
Yeah, get them off.
I would say that Vince looks like he's a tad off this weekend. He was a little closer at the last one, so I'm interested to see how he comes out firing for these
He's going to have to get everything he's got in the GPs coming up.
Agree.
Which we'll be getting to soon. Lots of fun being had here inside of Marvel Stadium. Bliss and Esso entertaining the crowd here right now. Recording artists up on the stage on the podium.
Yeah, and Ralph, one thing I've noticed about Marvel Stadium here, the acoustics for being a big stadium like this is really fantastic. These guys sound great.
Having fun watching them. And we had an opportunity to, Jeff, have you and Chad take a look at a bit of the racetrack and explain the technical challenges of getting through it.
The whoops once again. Oh, whoa! These whoops really collecting a lot of these riders tonight.
All right, I'm here with the Australian Supercross legend, Chad Reed, multi-time champion. For sure, one of the sections of the track that you mastered, which helped you win all those races and those championships, was the whoop section. I mean, you're, sometimes one of the fastest ever. So what does it take to master a long set of whoops like we have here tonight in Marvel Stadium?
For me, I'm thankful for your generation. Early to late 90s, everybody started like they were little, what we called them almost stutter bumps, and then they turned into the whoops and things like that. So as a little kid in Australia growing up, having access to Bobcat and front end loader, getting out there building whoops, I just started to replicate what I seen on TV and just trying to get that technique down. And really, that's been the core of it. It hasn't drastically changed. It's just trying to work on that technique, hit every one. That's been my goal ever since I can remember.
Yeah, so we have a long set of whoops here. You're going to come in with a lot of speed, probably third gear. It takes a lot of commitment, right? You have to be committed to coming in with a lot of entry speed. What does that take mentally, and what will these guys be going through here tonight when they face this whoop section?
So technique-wise is, typically the jump prior to this, which you can't see, but there's a jump behind us. The guys will get in there on a 450, shift to third, and then at that point commit, get into position, get into, butt out, head over the crossbar pad, and just have that technique. And again, just focus on front wheel, back wheel, and then mastering that and pushing the limit on how can we go faster by achieving that every lap.
Yeah. And the whoop section, when it's a long section, it becomes one of the best passing parts on the track. And then we have a 90-degree right-hand turn after this. Do you see this being one of those spots again?
Yeah, I think so. And with the 90-degree, it gives you opportunity to go full send, get down the inside, try to make that block pass. And if you are on the outside, maybe you can get down there real fast, get on the brakes, get the bike pivoted, and then actually square them up as they, are struggling to make the turn.
All right, well, there's no doubt that the whoop section is going to play a critical part in the outcome of the race here tonight at Marvel Stadium.
Welcome back inside Marvel Stadium. Ralph Shaheen, Jeff Emig with you as we're enjoying a great night of racing here with the World Supercross Championship in this pilot season, the first year, just 2 rounds this season. It's been a thrilling year so far.
Yeah, it has been. And I want to talk about those whoops, though, 1 second here. The whoop pad here, as we're working through the day here, those whoops are getting a little bit smaller, and I mean faster. And once we get to the finals here tonight, I'm thinking that whoop pad could be the key to winning the world title, and Chad had some great points on that.
Anybody you think has an advantage through that? One rider is better than another.
Well, I do think that Justin Brayton is really good through the whoops. I think Ken Roxon is really good. I think that Vince Friese is great off the starts, and he might struggle a tad bit in the whoops. So if Friese wants to be world champion, he's going to have to be the best he's ever been off the start and the whoops, because Brayton here is so solid also.
Take himself to a level through the whoops that he's never done. And as you pointed out in the piece, it's all about commitment going in there, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is where you double, and then if you go inside, you double and then triple in, you get a chance to shift up and look down there and see like how much commitment, what am I going to do to try to win this world title, and just like face that fear head on. And that's what I love about the whoop section here tonight.
Let's show you where the whoops play out in the middle of the racetrack here as we take a look at our GoPro track preview.
It's like we're going on board with Dean Wilson. GoPro track map up above. This is out of the first turn. There's going to be 4 jumps there. You can't obviously jump that off the start. You can quad this section into the big triple. Nobody's going wide in that turn. Everybody's going to the inside right here. Now, this is the section where Wilson went down. We saw that highlight right here, but this is a different way to do it. So he's going triple double into the whoops. And look how still his chest, where the GoPro is, stays, and the rest of the bike, the handlebars, everything is just moving around really violently underneath of him. Wilson, a rider with such great technique. He's really smooth. This is the spot where he made the mistake in the Superpole. He didn't do it this time around, up over the WSX finish line. Great look there from the GoPros.
That's the GoPro track preview, and we go back down trackside one more time with Kristen B.
Yeah, Ralph, I'm actually down here in the paddock and looking towards the WSX class. Justin Brayton won that first round of the Australian Supercross Championship last night, and he was second in Superpole today. Things are moving in the right direction for Justin Brayton. Now, I checked in with his WSX team manager, Tony Alessi. He was telling me he wants to see more defense from Justin Brayton here tonight in Cardiff. He didn't present enough opposition to the riders behind him. He got a great start, then surrendered. Tony wants to see Justin hold his line tonight. And guys, if there's anyone who could maybe provide an upset in the points structure, it's Justin Brayton.
That's a very good point, Chris, and there's no doubt about that, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And like we mentioned, Justin Brayton won the first round of the Australian Supercross Championship last night. So he's got a little bit of experience. He definitely is riding fast here.
Four-time champion here, Australian Supercross Series. A lot of the entertainment still going on inside the stadium for the fans here, enjoying the racing and the music here tonight. But we had an opportunity to talk with some of the riders competing here tonight who maybe made their first trip to Australia and asked them a little bit about some of the fun they've had here down under.
I don't know a lot about Melbourne, but I do know I want to go there. I don't know one thing other than that kangaroos jump super high and can attack people. G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. Love going to Australia. People are awesome.
The fans and the people there are very friendly towards us.
I love Australia. I love Melbourne.
It's a beautiful city.
I've wanted to go for so long and I haven't been able to make it happen.
G'day, mate. Welcome to Melbourne.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Welcome to Melbourne. That one's hard.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
It excites me for my friends to go and experience Australia and get to see the city of Melbourne.
Good food, good coffee.
Been there multiple times and I love it.
Big sports city too.
Love the fans out there. They're getting super wild.
Can I have a meat pie and a cold beer?
Can I have a meat pie and a cold beer? That was like a little country Aussie in it.
How do you say that?
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie, shall we?
Welcome to that's going to be a tough one. Welcome to Marvel Stadium.
Welcome to Marvel Stadium.
Welcome to Marvel Stadium.
Welcome to Marvel Stadium.
How good is Marvel Stadium?
That's how it's done.
Here in the FXR Club MX Yamaha pit, I just checked in with team principal Courtney Lloyd. I talked to her about Jay Sowen. He finished second in his heat, and just moments before that heat, they had to actually change out two of his shocks on his 250 Yamaha. Jace was pretty stressed out. He was worried. He wasn't sure whether or not he could trust his bike, but to be able to get that bike back out there on track not only required this team to hustle, but for Courtney Lloyd to actually physically walk over to Jace and say, hey, you need to calm down, take a breath. In a situation like that, guys, I mean, just absolute composure from Jay Sowen, who was able to pull out a second in that heat.
Jeff, it's a real challenge to get all these riders focused on what you have to go through here at a World Supercross.
I mean, management, riders and athletes are only as good as their coaches and managers. Courtney Lloyd, of course, one of the best in the paddock.
Well, it looks like Bliss and Esso are wrapping things up, and the boys have wrapped up Superpole, and it was another thriller.
It was. It's so exciting, and for all the riders to get to watch and for it to build, because you start with the rider in 5th in the heat and work your way to the heat winner, who's typically the quickest, right? And you can't make any mistakes in Superpole. We've seen it happen and take you, one mistake can cost you 1 point in the Superpole, and $500 also. I forgot about that.
And think of the fact that Roxon's won Superpole twice this year at both events. That's 2 bonus points, puts him 4 up coming into the GPs later on tonight. That's a huge advantage in the long run.
Well, because it's so close, we have a short championship this year. But now later on here, we're going to have 3 finals that's going to make up the Australian Grand Prix and give us our world champion. And then there's no room for mistakes once you get there.
Kristen Beat took us behind the scenes and sat down with Ken Roxon.
Ken, it seems like in this World Supercross Championship at Cardiff, you were having so much fun. What is it like to kind of be experiencing those emotions on a race weekend again?
I'm a rider that if I'm happy and I'm having fun, I'm riding well. And I think that's what I've been craving a little bit in this last couple of years. So the decision that I made to come and race here and all over the world was definitely the right one for me. So again, when I'm happy and I'm having fun, it just shows in my riding. And I think that's exactly what I needed, especially going into the next season in 2023 as well.
What have you learned about yourself in the last 3 months? Because it has been a super turbulent time, and I think in moments like that, you can learn so much.
First off, I'm the kind of guy that I just want to keep going and just hang in there, right? Like even when times get tough, and I've had a lot of tough times, if anything, that's what makes it a little bit difficult, because at one point you're like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this, but riding dirt bike, I get to do basically what started as a hobby for my job, and I love it. And now with my son being a little over 2 years old, like he knows exactly what's going on, and he loved it, and it makes my heart smile.
Looking at the competitive side, looking at Cardiff, GP race number 2. I think sometimes in racing especially, you have to beat yourself before you can beat everyone else on the line. What is that battle, and what has that battle been like for you as a rider, racing yourself? What is that relationship like?
Obviously, sometimes you can be the fastest guy out there and things go wrong, you still don't get the win. Like, I'm not saying that I was the fastest guy by a mile. Obviously, Eli, he's won both championships and he's been absolutely ripping. But in the end, it's you, your helmet, your bike, and you could be 20 seconds ahead of everybody else and slide out, or like how it was for me in the first race, just slide the front wheel out. So, of course, I have to be mistake-free to be able to win.
Emotionally and mentally, what is it like to be in that moment on a bike where you're trying to be mistake-free and you're trying to execute and hit your marks? What is that like for you?
Well, I think the biggest thing is not overthinking it, right? Like, it's gotten easier when you're in a position of leading with a big gap. You kind of get used to or get comfortable with the circumstances. I try to just zoom everything out, enjoy myself, and then everybody has their own little recipe, right? But like I said, I think the biggest thing is just being comfortable with it, right? But I feel like that's the fun part about competition, is it's never finished until the checkered flag is out, and that's what makes this stuff so exciting.
Well, can Ken Roxon pull it off here tonight and become world champion? And Jeff, when you think of all the things he's been through, the injuries over the years and everything else, it would be incredible. And somebody's going to be an SX2 world champion tonight, and it might be Shane McElrath. He's got a great shot at it. He's one up on Bloss, and Bloss is one up on Oldenburg.
Yeah, what a battle. But look how close the points are, okay? And I'm telling you, there's going to be some other riders there that are going to play a part in that 250 final. Now, here in the WSX, it really comes down to Roxon, Freezy, Brayton, 3 Honda riders, 2 different teams. Points are really close. Of course, Roxon just earned 1 extra point.
Let's take you back and show you Ken Roxon's Superpole lap.
That's going to be about the last half of his lap, but see how fast he went across those whoops there. He really makes it look easy. And I was horrible through the whoops. But I can tell you what it takes to be fastest, and it's entry speed. I was told that a million times. Of course, right there, wheelies through the Dragon's back and over the finish line. Nice pin right replay.
There's nothing smooth about a Supercross track, but boy, Ken makes it look that way, doesn't he?
And these guys, every one of them was just looking straight up. There's at the top corners of the stadium, there's big screens there, and they had the list. And